Hi guys. In this video, we'll be going over section 3.3 from the Sullivan book, which is this is one of the topics I'm not in love with, but it's about frequency distributions and how to calculate the mean and the standard deviation from them. Okay. Um, so this is definitely one we want to do technologically. So let me jump into the assignment. I'm going to try to make you guys' lives a lot easier. There's some useful videos I found that could help, but I hope this one gets you through all the problems. Um, when I last taught this course, we would do these by hand, and it's not fun, right? So essentially, going back to last chapter, we looked at frequency distributions when we had intervals, if you remember binwidth. All we were really doing in those was making histograms, and we did have Statcrunch calculate. What did we have to do? We used histograms to calculate something, I think relative frequency, where we could print the relative frequency at the top of the histogram bar. This we're going to try to find the means, and it's not too hard, but we do have to do a little coding with Statcrunch. Fortunately, it doesn't have this function to do it automatically. So let's do this, right? We have data. Um, what we're going to do is we're going to open the data. Now, this was asking people how much they have in their savings, right? I'm sure we all wish we had a lot of money saved up. Um, so because it can vary, right? They don't want to just do frequencies of these. Like we don't care if someone had 185 or someone had 184. We sort of group those into one interval between 0 and 199. So you can kind of see that these are going by 200s. And we already have, this is a summary because this was already counted for us. So what we want to know is what's the average mean. Now, this is just an estimate. It's not exact. It's not an exact answer, an estimate. So if you notice, there's something about these numbers being spread by 200s that we can use the midpoint and call that sort of the middle ground for each one. So when we think of these 19 people, let's say, between 600 and 799, what we're going to do is we're going to think of these 19 people as on average making about 700. So again, we're sort of in that normal distribution area where we think things are sort of nice. And in reality, it's probably slightly off. Okay, so this is not an actual, whatever answer we get, it's not the actual one. Now, if you see that since most of the people are down here, this is definitely less skewed, right? Most people are or have between 0 and 199. All right, so we're just kind of thinking of things we've already learned. Only one person is making 1,200 to or saves $1,200 or more. But notice what we're actually assuming here is that they made how much? 1,300, right? That's probably not what they have saved, but we find the middle ground in this interval. So a little work to be done. Okay. So so what we're gonna do is we're gonna fill in the midpoints ourselves. So we're gonna go, the first one is 100. We're gonna name it mid in Statcrunch. And they're all gonna go by, oh, sorry, 200. So next one's 300. Oh, I can't use tab. I have to use enter. 500, 700, 900, 1100, 1300. What this is going to do is it's going to multiply the frequencies times the midpoint. Okay. And that's what we're thinking of as the total number of dollars saved for this group. So all of these rows, these rows, these rows, they're going to get multiplied by each other. And at the end, we divide by the total. Okay, so let's do that. We're going to do summary stats, grouped bin data. And the bins are the midpoint column and the counts are in the frequency. And then all it's going to do is calculate the standard deviation. Just remember, okay, because there are going to be future problems coming up. Just remember, if it's a population, we want the unadjusted one, okay? So just be mindful of that. So we compute, we get our mean is 230. Okay, so let's see. Now notice it's a sample mean, so we're good. It asks us for standard deviation. Nearest dollar is at 230 or 231. 230. Let's check it. All right. Part two, we just enter the standard deviation. That's right here. Okay. But if it was population, we'd have to make sure we added the unadjusted. That's it. Okay. For this one, let me restart the problem. We have to find the midpoint, and they have to be integers to also to use in Statcrunch. No, so let's see. What's the midpoint between 2 and 9? That's really between 0 and 9. So that would be 5. Or so let's see, what's the midpoint between 2 and 9? It'd be 6, right? 6. Midpoint here, 15, 25, 25, 35, and so on. Oop, 35. I'm going great here. 45, 55. Oop. 50 and 50 and 99. Notice it jumps here. So what's the midpoint there? He's 75. Okay. And then the midpoint here is 150. Let's see if these are right. Okay. Sample mean. So what we do is let's open our data in Statcrunch. Let's close this. Open the data. It's the same exact thing we just did, except we have a little bit of work to do. That's why they asked us what the midpoints are. So sort of the manual labor here is creating a new column, which are the midpoints. So we want to label it so we know what we're calling. So we go 6, 15, 25, 35, 45, 75, 150. Oop, 150. And then same thing. What we're going to do is we're going to ask Statcrunch to calculate by multiplying the frequencies and the midpoints and adding them up and dividing by 7. Okay, so if you click view an example, that's the formula. It looks really tedious. Okay, so group summary stats, grouped bin data. Our bins are the midpoint column. Counts are frequency. Compute. Okay, it's still samples, so we don't have to worry about changing to an unadjusted. And again, just enter the mean 26.2, and that's how you do this problem. Okay. Okay. So I don't want to make this video too long. I got rid of question 3 because it doesn't really work. There's too many decimals. Um, this one's exactly the same, right? You'd open the data in Statcrunch, and all you really have to do is um, create the midpoints here. So the midpoint here would be 55, 65, 75, 85. So you make a column for that, and then do stat, summary stats, group in data, and then that's it. Okay. Let's roll on here. Okay, this one's a little annoying, but I don't want to go through all the problems. So do your best. Assume that you could maybe use Statcrunch. Okay. So we just have to make sure we know what each grade point average point is with a grade. Where do they tell us that? F is worth what is none, D is 1, C is 2, B is 3, A is 4. Okay. But notice it's a 1 hour course, so you're gonna have to multiply these. So let me help a little with that. So we really just want columns, right? One for hours, right? How much hours each class is worth, and one for the points. So she got a B, so that's how many points? 3. How many hours was it? 1, right? She got a B in a 5 hour course. So that's 3 points for the B, 5 hours. She got a B, 3 points for a 2 hour course. She got a C, that's 2 points in her 5 hour course. Okay, so you see how we've created 2 columns. Well, we can just go to Statcrunch. We don't have to copy it. We can just make up, we do Statcrunch. Let's see, can I clear results, delete all. Didn't get rid of that. New data table. That's not quite what I wanted, but that's fine. So we'll just label it so it's clear what we're doing here. Points, hours, Okay, so it's 3, 3, 3, 2. 1, 5, 2, 5. Then go stat, summary stat. Uh, Now, what do we do here? We can group bin data. Our bins are what? The points, right? And then the counts are the hours. Compute, it should give us the GPA. So GPA would be a 2.61, which is the mean, right? GPA is a mean if you think about it. But it's sort of a frequency distribution because these are weighted differently. So this makes sense because that C, because it was a 5-hour course, dropped your grade. It is close to a 3.0, but it's 2.61. All right. Okay. Anyways, so now you kind of see what's going on. So all these problems are the same. This is also the same type of problem, right? Figure out what your two columns are. One's going to be pounds, one's going to be the cost, and then enter the data into Statcrunch and to the grouped bin data calculator. Same thing. Just remember, get all of these calculated as midpoints. Whenever we have intervals, find the midpoints. Okay. Uh, okay, so question 8. We've done this, but the midpoints are nice. I'll tell you that for these. It's 15, 25, 35, 45, 55, and proceed exactly as all fields run. So I want to keep this video short. Please let me know if the video helped, and that's it.